Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we will be big box store plant shopping at the Home Depot in Allen, Texas. You will not believe what I found at this particular location. But before we get to that, please make sure you're hitting the like button and also subscribing to my channel. I do 1 hour plant shopping videos daily, and I usually premiere them around 7 or 8 p.m. So let's check this Home Depot out. You know, I had an inkling to go out at this particular Home Depot just because it was right across from the Lowe's, which I also filmed some footage for. But as you guys walk over here, we can see that we have the Vigoro hanging baskets fixture. We're looking at some spider plants right over here. Now these Vigoro plants are for $19.98. This one is a nice full hanging basket of spider plants. Really like that a lot. You know, for the value that you get for Vigoro hanging baskets, it's not bad at all. I like this though. Look at this Syngonium. Nice, full, and lush, and I love pink plants, so this is just a bonus. You can see there's so many plants in this particular hanging basket. So with Syngoniums, very easy to care for plants. If you're new to this channel, my name is Richie, and I love Syngoniums, and that's one of my favorite plants. Very easy to take care of. Right over here, we've got another hanging basket full of some Monstera adansonii, and who could forget looking at a hanging basket of Epipremnum aureum golden pothos for $19.98. One of the easiest house plants you can possibly take care of. And if you look right over here, so they have these combination planters. This is a Ficus lyrata or a fiddle fig leaf tree with a bunch of neon pothos as kind of like a top covering of it. This one is for $139. Not a bad price considering this is a very large Ficus lyrata already, and you got a neon pothos. Now, Ficus lyrata or fiddle fig leaf definitely need a lot of bright indirect light, lots of light actually, but with the neon pothos as well, the more bright indirect light or light you give it, the more yellow those foliage will look like. So that's really exciting. It doesn't look like this Home Depot has quite all of the plants loaded up on these shelves just yet, but you can see right here, Spathiphyllum or peace lily. This one isn't in full bloom yet, but you know, I'm not really a big fan of the blooms. I just love looking at Spathiphyllum leaves. They have such great texture. And right over here, we've got another combination of Ficus lyrata plus neon pothos for $139. So these are by Nature's Way, and they consider these like ready to go plants. So if you have an interior space you want to put them, or even a patio, shaded patio, that'd be awesome. And then right over here, we are looking at an Alocasia portula plus Epipremnum aureum neon pothos. Gorgeous combination. Love how this Alocasia is getting really large. I would love to be able to grow an Alocasia this large. You know, in North Dallas, which is where I'm based at, for those that are new, you can actually grow Alocasia bulbs in your landscape and they will always return. They'll go dormant, obviously, but when it gets hot around the summertime, they will pop back up. But I just want to admire all the gorgeous flowers, and just, it's a nice, bright, sunny day. And, you know, going out and doing plant shopping, especially on my day off, it's just very therapeutic and relaxing. So we're just going to take a look at all of these plants right over here. You can see these gorgeous looking cordyline plants, these Hawaiian tea plants, and this is another combination planter. But look at how vibrant that red color is. This is absolutely stunning. It doesn't even look like a real plant. I really like that a lot. That just really inspires me to grow cordyline or tea plants. These can actually be grown in full sun, and I would actually recommend growing a cordyline plant in full sun because you will get the best coloration. You'll get really intense reds with it, or pinks. And here we've got some Kalia lilies. I find Kalia lily blooms very adorable. I mean, look at that. It's got a very delicate, subtle, but simple look about their blooms. And I love the color of this nice little red, you know, color is really, you know, just really complimentary. And I do like flowering plants as well. I've been considering getting more flowering plants in my indoor space. You know, I just recently got my plant room together, so I'll be able to house a lot more plants. And over here, we're looking at a variegated Tasmanian flax lily. That's really cool. I thought it was like a spider plant, like a variegated spider plant. This is for $12.98, and it is being released by Smart Plants. Smart Plants is actually another nursery that really sources a lot of succulents and cacti for Home Depot. So that's really interesting that they got that. And then we've got a bunch of hanging baskets of wax begonias. You know, just recently, I didn't realize that begonias were also grown for their flowers. I just really thought they were more of a foliage plant, but it's nice to see they've got a bunch of hanging baskets. And then on you know, we're looking at a bunch of ferns right over here, some Boston ferns. It looks like every big box store or local nursery has a bunch of ferns. Not sure why, but it's the season where you're seeing a bunch of ferns. And look at this Acer palmatum, or a Japanese maple. This one is the typical red bloodgood Japanese maple. For $109, that is not a bad price at all for a Japanese maple. It's already fairly large and established. What I love about Japanese maples are just the elegance of the foliage. I love that scarlet red look about it, and then when the sun hits it and really illuminates the leaves, it is just stunning. I've always been a fan of Japanese maples. I love Japanese gardens. I'm working on my backyard to be like a Japanese garden oasis. It is a work in progress, just because Japanese maples or Acer palmatum are very slow growing. They don't put as much growth, and they are a little bit finicky when it comes to hotter weather. So they are a bit of a challenge growing them in Texas, and they just don't do as well with like harsh weather. You have to really give them some shade, but they also need bright light. So there's just a balance that you would need if you're growing, you know, Japanese maples in Texas. Here we've got some more cordyline Hawaiian tea plants. This is by Garden Tropics. This one is for $7.98, just a starter plant. And you can see right over here, there's some pink. I just like the cordyline plants though with the red that I just saw recently earlier in this video. I might end up getting one of the larger ones just because I kind of want instant gratification. I'm not sure if you guys are like that as well, where like, yes, most of us want to grow plants and, you know, see them grow larger, or do you ever just want to get a plant and just say instant gratification, I have this large plant? So there are a couple plants that I would like to do that with. And, you know, this cordyline plant, I think, even though it is a fast growing plant, that might be something I might visit later down the line. And then this is an interesting one. This is a cordyline red star. I thought it was some type of Dracaena, but it is a cordyline plant or a tea plant. This one has more of like a maroon, magenta, almost a chocolate look about it. Really nice dark foliage. I love dark foliage plants. And this one is available to buy at this particular Home Depot. So when I actually walked into this Home Depot, I thought that they just didn't have any plants, but it looks like a lot of their indoor plants, landscaping plants are all kind of lumped into the outdoor section. I was a little bit worried that they didn't have a selection, but you can see here, I love red plants, dark foliage plants. A Japanese maple is stunning. My Japanese maples are doing well, and I'm really excited about that. And you can see right here, this is a huge basket of fern for $19.98. I'm not really a fern fan. It doesn't really interest me. But if I were to add some ferns, I would definitely do a bird's nest fern. That's one fern I would add to my collection. It does get pretty large. I'm not really into the Boston ferns. Maybe a Boston tiger stripe fern, a variegated fern, but that's about it. And then you can see over here some more gorgeous Japanese maples. Now the thing is with these Acer palmatum, you really want to try to get these in the ground as soon as possible because they need some time for the roots to establish. At least in Texas, if you try to plant them after like in May, that might be a little bit too late. Like the best time is now. Otherwise it'll get a little too hot. And you know, Japanese maples, when it's a little hot, the leaves will start to crisp up and burn. But you can see all of the gorgeous hanging baskets here. I love that it's a beautiful day today. The sun is out, and we're just going to keep looking at some plants. Some indoor plants are coming up. I just want to show you some of these landscaping plants. So I hope you plant foldies will still stick around and watch some of these plants, like these Beautiful coral bell plants. Look at that gray, that velvety texture, and then even the undersides of the leaves, that purple is absolutely stunning. I love looking at these plants, and these plants, everybody did mention that you can potentially grow outdoor plants indoors. It just really depends on the lighting. I would say with these particular plants, they would just need a lot more bright and direct light. A lot of these plants will say, they can handle, they handle shade, but I'm not sure. Like, I am planning on trying to grow 3 particular plants that are really meant for outdoors, indoors, just because I like the dark foliage and the purple look about it. Be sure to check my next video, which will be premiering tomorrow, about purple plants from the outdoor landscape going indoors. But you can see here we've got a bunch of coral bell plants. I've grown these before in planters. They're very easy to grow. They do like partial shade and sun. They get better coloration when they get that bright and direct light. That morning sun is really good for them. And you can see right here, Proven Winners has a lot of diversity when it comes to just these new releases for coral bells. Like this one right here is not bad at all. And this is for $12.98. These are perennials. And for perennials, what that means is the plant will grow and will return back every season. What'll happen is it'll either go dormant or die off, but the root system will just remain dormant, and then it'll just grow back in the spring. And then you can see right here we've got some more coral bells. I do love that purple lavender look and then that gray look. These leaves almost remind me of begonias in a weird sort of way. I mean, let me know in the comments, plant folies, if you agree with me. If you've ever grown coral bell plants, these are awesome. And I do love the fact that Proven Winners has a lot of interesting hybrids, and you can see this one is in bloom. Really like that a lot. And you can see they've got a lot of flowering plants. I love seeing these kangaroo paws. I think kangaroo paws kind of belong into the succulent family or cacti family, but look at all the different types of blooms for the kangaroo paw. I particularly like the red and yellow blooms of the kangaroo paw. I don't know a lot about them, so for those that are familiar with kangaroo paw, please leave in the comments or in the live premiere chats. Just let me know about like the plant care needs and just plant care in general. I always love learning from you guys, and that's the thing about our plant community on Growfolds. It's all about learning from each other. And for those that continue to go to my live premiere chats and chat, thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it. And you can see right here what a stunning cordyline Hawaiian tea plant. Like, I am in love with the red and the maroon. What a gorgeous looking plant. Like, I want to just buy that cordyline plant. It is in a combination planter with a bunch of petunias. I think that's really cool. It is definitely a cool little planter that you can put out in full sun. Now with the cordyline plant, you see how it's got darker foliage. The more light you give it, the better off it's going to be in terms of pushing out that really intense red. And I just like how the sun and the light hits it. You can see how it's just kind of illuminated. Really like that a lot. I think I might go and buy one of these cordyline plants. I just wish you can successfully grow cordyline plants indoors. The problem with cordyline plants is growing them indoors, they are very susceptible to spider mites. It's almost like impossible for them to not get spider mites. But hey, I've been able to grow a Hydra helix or an English ivy, which most people they call it a spider mite magnet. So I might try growing a cordyline indoors. We're gonna see that. And right over here, we've got some lovely and elegant looking white impatiens. And look at all of these plants. And I haven't really, ventured out all over this little plant section at Home Depot, but you can see how they are very full and lush. And then we're going to walk over here. So it looks like they are transferring a lot of the indoor plants, the Vigoro plants, over to the shaded part of outside. And you can see that this is our favorite, guys. This is another Hydra helix or Hedera helix. I just like calling Hedera helix, but the correct way to say it is Hedera helix, which is basically an English ivy. If you've watched a lot of my previous videos, you know my love-hate relationship with that plant. It's just a challenging plant. And then here we've got another Sansevieria. All of these ceramic planters right here are for $8.98. These are by Nature's Way. So if you want a plant in a nice ceramic planter, Home Depot has it. These are the plants that you'd be able to see. Like you saw that there was a golden pothos. I'm going to walk over here and just show you guys an assortment of succulents. Succulents and cactus I don't really know a lot about, but what I do know is some people are really into it, so that's why I would like to at least feature some of it. Now this is one type of succulent I am not about. These are called the cosmic cactus. I find these extremely tacky. And the reason why I say they're extremely tacky, like you can see that these were like succulents that were painted a color. Like this one was painted blue and some of the paint is already coming off. I don't think it's really good for the plant just because the plant, there's like a layer of paint covering the plant. So it's probably preventing it from photosynthesizing. It's kind of like if you don't clean the dust off plants, they don't photosynthesize as well. I'm just not a fan. Now, if you are into that painted cactus, you know, more power to you, but that's just my personal opinion. And right over here, we've got a Philodendron Prince of Orange. What a nice looking Philodendron Prince of Orange. You can see that new leaf unfurling. It has like a really bright orange. I do like these type of philodendrons where they're more of like a clumping versus climbing type of philodendron. You don't necessarily have to put it up a pole, but what is cool about these types of philodendron like the Prince of Orange is they can get very large and wide, up to 3 to 4 feet. So that would be awesome to see that as a giant. And you can see here, we've got some proven winners, Ficus benjamina, and this one's called Over the Edge. These ones are for $29.98. I do like Ficus benjamina. The only thing is with these Ficus benjamina, which are basically like indoor trees, or you can grow them that way, very finicky in a sense that they need a lot of light. If you don't give them light, they will drop their leaves. Also, if you bring a Ficus benjamina at home and just place it somewhere, there is an acclimation period where potentially they will drop all of its leaves. Once it is happy again, it will just grow its leaves back. But you know, with Ficus, they just like consistency. Here is one of my favorite philodendrons, just because I love that yellow neon color. This is a philodendron lemon lime by Proven Winners. This one is for $19.98, and I do love the ceramic planter it's in. I like that it's got a matte finish about it. I'm not really into like shiny glazes. The texture on the planter is okay as well. I do prefer smoother surfaces, but you can see here what a nice looking philodendron lemon lime. Now this particular philodendron needs a potential moss pole or a plank for it to continue to grow up. And I do like this philodendron. So I first saw this philodendron Sun Red offered by Proven Winners. And what's interesting about it is the definite red burgundy look of the new leaves that unfurl. So it's basically like a Philodendron Prince of Orange, but instead of orange leaves for the new leaves, this one has more like burgundy, almost like a caramel tone about it. I think you can get some more intense reds, but what a nice looking philodendron. And all of the philodendron I've featured so far are super easy to take care of. They need bright and direct light. Just make sure you don't overwater them. Just water them when they completely dry, when the soil is completely dry, and you'll be good to go. And then over here, we are going to be looking at some more Proven Winners plants. So it looks like the plant vendor hasn't gotten these out yet. They're still on racks, but what a nice looking H2O leaf bowl series, which is basically plants that are growing in hydroponics. So I've talked about hydroponics and basically growing plants in straight water instead of having a substrate like leca, pond, or soil. This has just got the roots and straight water. This one is a Dracaena Janet Craig. This is a Dracaena that I will always feature in my videos because Janet Craig Dracaenas are in every single big box store and even grocery stores. What an easy to grow plant. It's an underrated plant. All Dracaenas I feel like are underrated, but they can bring you joy in the fact that they are very low maintenance. And you can see right here, this is actually one of my favorite Dracaenas that I need to get. This is a Dracaena Urban Urchin by Proven Winners. What I love about this particular Dracaena, which is considered a Dracaena Warneckii, is look at those roots, gorgeous, and then they've got the water in the bowl. But I just like that the leaves on this particular plant has so many different colors. You've got dark green, light green, white, a mint green, a yellow green. There's just a lot of colors going around it. And I like that it's just got, it looks like somebody just painted this plant. It doesn't even look real. But what I like about this Dracaena Urban Urchin is it will get large in time. It can get up to 3 to 4 feet tall. And the same thing, this Dracaena Warneckii Lemon Lime. This goes back to the whole like lime, neon yellow type foliage plant. What a nice looking one. Now, all of these smaller Proven Winner H2O hydroponic bowls are for $19.98. It is a little bit pricey. So what I've done instead of buying these is I will buy like a plant and basically wash away all of the soil and then put it in a bowl, and voila, I've got me some hydroponics. All of my calatheas are doing amazing in my hydroponics. I don't ever have to worry about them like just becoming unhappy, and it's another way to grow plants. I've even transferred a bunch of my aglaonema into hydroponics. Here we've got a lemon button fern. It's a really nice looking one. This one's another starter plant by Proven Winners for $5.98. That's honestly not a bad price for this size plant, and you'll get some really cool looking plants. I know that I bought me a Tradescanthia Feeling Flirty by Proven Winners, which is basically a nice looking pink compact version of a Tradescanthia Nanook. But this lemon button fern, it's really cute as well. I do like the textures of the leaves. They look like buttons. And let's see what else we'll find right here. So this one is an oyster plant. This one is for $5.98. It's a pink urchin oyster plant. So you can see that the undersides of the leaves has that like lavender purple tone to it, and then you've got the green tone about it. I actually found something similar to that at Lowe's, which is really meant to be growing outdoors. So I'm gonna see if I can grow them indoors, but that one's a really nice looking plant. The thing about this plant is you're gonna have to cut it back because it can get leggy. And then right over here, we've got another Epipremnum aureum golden pothos. And pothos, like you can see how like the roots are very established. You can literally create your own hydroponic pothos bowl by just taking a bunch of cuttings and they will root. Like pothos are easy to root. You have basically a 99% guarantee that pothos cuttings will root in water. You just give it 2 to 3 weeks. Here is just a solid green Peperomia obtusifolia, and this is a happy one because you can see that little rat tail looking thing. That is actually a bloom. And whenever you see plants that are blooming, especially tropical plants, you can tell that that plant is happy. It's gotten the best type of growing conditions and it's able to like potentially want to reproduce itself. So that's really cool. I like the look of this one. You know, they've got the variegated version. I ended up getting a variegated Peperomia obtusifolia with Golden Gate. That one's nice, but the green one is also good. Don't sleep on green plants, guys. Green plants are sturdy and strong and gorgeous. Here we've gotten a Photonia. This one is a Photonia prime time. I haven't ever seen this type of Photonia. This Photonia is more yellow versus like the pinks and the whites and the reds. This is really interesting as well. You can see that it starts off like it starts off yellow, but I think it darkens or hardens to like more of a green color. I think that's really cool. This is particularly a cultivar that was hybridized by Proven Winners, or at least that's my understanding. And you can see right here, they've got another Photonia. This is a typical one you will see with the white veining. Love Photonias. They are thirsty plants. So the only thing about thirsty plants are they definitely need a lot of water. Otherwise they kind of shrivel up. Not the best plant for me personally, just because I'm more of an underwaterer. And then right over here, what a gorgeous looking Alocasia Luterbachiana, I think that's how you pronounce it. I do intend to purchase this particular Alocasia. I've seen it before at another Home Depot, the one off of Prosper in Prosper, Texas. That would be one of the Alocasias I would get. Actually, The proven winner alocasias are amazing. I do love that they're very healthy and you can see the undersides of the leaves. I definitely want to get my alocasias going. They are a bit more of a finicky plant. They do require a little bit more high humidity, but yeah. And let's see what else we have right over here. We're just going to take a look at some more alocasia. So this one is an Alocasia Cuculatta. Wait. Oh my goodness. Do you see this? So this is, I just thought this was just like a regular Alocasia Cuculatta, but do you see the leaves? Do you guys see these leaves? They've got some aurea yellow tones about it, and this is not completely green. You can clearly see that there's some variegation. So this is a Variegated Sport Alocasia Cuculatta. I am so excited. This is definitely going home with me. I was not intending to buy any plants. I really wasn't intending to, but there's no way I am gonna let this variegated alocasia for $29.99 not go home with me. And the reason why I want to buy this variegated alocasia is when it produces pups or corms or more baby ones, the genetics are going to be the same to where they're going to be more variegated Alocasia cuculattas. Now, I don't know how rare the variegated Alocasia cuculattas are, but what I do know is as many times as I've done plant shopping videos, I have yet to find a variegated sport type plant. You've seen some people find variegated sport Monstera deliciosas, but that is so cool. Leave it in the comments, my plant foldies, if you know if this plant is a variegated sport plant or if I'm just going crazy, if I'm seeing splotches, or if this is really a variegated alocasia. I think it is. Leave it in the comments or in the live premiere chats, but I am really interested to see. And actually, I'm going to be nosy. It looks like this is another variegated sport Alocasia cuculatta. It doesn't have nearly as much variegation as the other one, but you can clearly see there's some splotches here, and I like that. I'm probably going to get this one as well, even though it doesn't have nearly as much variegation. Who knows if it'll push out more, but look at that one. There's a little bit more variegation there. I don't mind spending the $29.98 for both, especially if it's sport variegated plants. Now, for my plant foldies or anybody watching this video, have you guys ever discovered sport variegated plants when you go plant shopping? Please leave in the comments. Let me know about your stories. I'd love to hear, but you can see here, I feel like I hit the jackpot. That is so cool. Even if the variegation isn't as pronounced, the fact that there is some subtleties with the variegation is really cool. I would assume that these Alocasia plants, these cuculattas, were probably from the same batch. So whenever you find one, I definitely am a little bit more inspired to keep checking. But you can see right over here, what if I find a philodendron Florida green sport variegated? That'd be cool. Basically, a philodendron Florida green variegated is a Florida beauty, which I have already, but I do like the philodendron Florida green. What a beautiful looking plant. This is a plant that does require a little bit of a pole for it to really grow. And then Ficus umbellata, I do love the Ficus umbellata. Proven Winners calls this the lily pad plant. It does kind of look like lily pads. I do like the Ficus umbellata. I've seen a lot of plant styling, especially in Japan, where they use Ficus umbellata. They kind of bend the trunks and grow it into a really nice, elegant looking tree indoors. Ficus umbellata does require a lot of bright light, and it is susceptible to spider mites, but I ended up buying one at Home Depot not too long ago. That one was for $29.98. I do have to move my cart around, and I have to watch as I'm filming because I don't want somebody just picking up my variegated sport alocasia. I mean, that's something I would fight over. So we'll see. But here is a gorgeous looking Monstera deliciosa for $29.98 by Proven Winners. Now I'm looking at pretty much every single plant to see if there's any more sport variegated plants on this one. Today is definitely one of my luckiest days. And you can see right over here, this is another Alocasia cuculatta. This one is a lot greener, although I do see some subtle variegation on the leaves. So again, that's really just interesting. I'm just going to leave that there. I'm going to be inspecting a lot of these plants, but you can see this is clearly a green Alocasia cuculatta, not a sport variegated one. It is a gorgeous looking Alocasia. I really was not intending to grow any more Alocasias, but if you were in my shoes, would you not get that sport variegated Alocasia? Like, look at that. I know that that's like the money shot for the leaves, and I'm hoping that it will continue to push out some stable variegation. Who knows? I might even share a couple of babies with my viewers and subscribers. And again, I want to take the time to, ask you guys, if you're already watching this video and haven't already, please hit the like button. I'd really appreciate it. It helps with the engagement. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button as well, hit the subscribe button and make sure your bell notifications are on. Again, I post daily plant videos every single day unless I'm not able to get to it. But I'm basically filming videos and editing videos when I get off of work. I do work a pretty demanding job. It's close to 9 to 10 hours a day, but I have been able to balance that out for you guys, and I really enjoy the process. And you can see here what a gorgeous looking Alocasia pink dragon. Love the purple undersides of the leaves, and then I love the pink stems. This one has several little babies coming out of it, and that's what I like about Alocasias. Somebody asked me what the it plant would be. I think Kathy, my very loyal plant foldy from Canada, asked what I thought was the it plant for this year, and I do believe it's going to be Variegated Alocasia. And you can see here we've got some more golden pothos. Now this Nanthe setosa gray star is being released again. I definitely want to buy this, and I'm going to grow it in hydroponic. Not today, but that's such a gorgeous looking plant because I love the gray look. Look at that metallic shine. Look at how delicate the veining is. And then the purple undersides. These are gorgeous. They are a bit finicky because it's kind of in that same realm of Stromanthe, Calatheas, and Marantha plants. They don't like to be watered with tap water. You really want to give them purified water, rainwater, distilled water. Hard water doesn't do very well for these plants because they will end up browning or crisping up. But the good thing about Thinanthe plants or those types of prayer plants are they are not toxic, so they are pet friendly and pet safe. And then we can just walk over here, more plants. I'm just, I'm not saying frantically looking for any more sport variegated plants, but I mean, if you were in my shoes, like what if I found like a philodendron variegated Birkin? That'd be cool. But this is just a typical philodendron Birkin for 1998. This one has pretty decent variegation. I would say the best philodendron Birkins that are highly variegated I found at Kroger, which is a grocery store that's pretty much all over Dallas, but they call that philodendron a philodendron white margin. It's interesting how plants have different names, but you can see right over here, you can see that this is another Alocasia Cuculatta. It has a little bit more sport variegation right here. It's more green than yellow, but you can see that there is just some subtle variegation, but most of this plant is actually green. The other Alocasia I found, you definitely can tell, like, look, it's just pretty green. The leaves are pretty green. So I don't know if these were like collected corms that, proven winners grew from babies and didn't realize that they were variegated. I'm pretty sure, when you're producing hundreds and hundreds of plants, sometimes you don't oversee those unique variegated plants, those sport variegated plants. So for those that don't think they'll ever find a variegated plant, I would say if you're going plant shopping or even window plant shopping, check all the monsteras. Check all of the philodendron. Just check all the plants like I do. Now I'm going to be on higher alert just to see if I can find more variegated plants. I think that's really cool. I would love to see a sport variegated Ficus umbellata, for instance. Now, this is a nice looking Ficus umbellata. I love how bright and yellow the new leaf coming out is. And these plants are just really nice. They almost remind me of like looking like an oversized weed, at least the leaf shape and texture, but it is a nice looking plant. With Ficus umbellata, you need to give it a lot of bright light. Any type of ficus plant, even if somebody says they can, tolerate low, medium light, you just need to give it bright light. I know that ficus plants do better in that realm, just because in my experience, when I give them lower light conditions, they start to shed their leaves. Here is a beautiful Dracaena warneckii, but this one is the white jewel. Look at that variegation as well. And this is in another H2O bowl. So I could have gotten the white jewel, the lemon lime, and then the urban urchin. That would be a cool little collection. but I don't know if I really want them in hydroponics. I kind of want to grow them in like soil substrate, just because Dracaena, you can underwater them, not give them as much bright light, and they will still do well. So that's one of those plants that I would consider an easy to care for plant, a beginner plant, but needless to say, you'll still get some really nice growth from it. But as you guys can see, we've got a lot of plants that still need to be like put on shelves. I'm just going to keep panning over here and just showing you more of the plants. So that is an Alocasia Cuculatta right there, just the green form. Unless I am going crazy, plant folies, please validate that I found me a sport variegated Alocasia Cuculatta. And you can see that is that Hawaiian tea plant I was talking about. We've got a bunch of large Monstera deliciosas right here. Surprisingly, I don't have as large of a Monstera deliciosa anymore. I have one that I need to repot in a bigger planter. And then you can see here, we've got some more gorgeous looking cordyline Hawaiian tea plants. Love that pink, love that red, but I think I want the wider form leaves, which is back there. It is a little bit pricey. I think it's like $39.98, but it's not bad. And you can see right across, we've got some ZZ plants. ZZ plants are one of the easiest plants that you can take care of. And then they've got some more Dracaenas right above it. And yeah, I don't know, plant folies, let me know what you guys think. I'm super excited that I was able to find a variegated sport plant. And right here is what I was talking about, these gorgeous looking cordyline Hawaiian tea plants here. Look at that bright red over here. I need this to be outside in my front patio. I'm going to grow it in a planter, a really nice looking planter, and we'll see where it takes us. And here we've got some gorgeous looking Monstera deliciosa. So everybody's all about the variegated Monsteras, even me. But you know, the green form, I truly believe is gorgeous. If you haven't seen my plant nursery shop video of Cultivar, which is a rare plant shop in Texas, check out that amazing video. I feature a just regular green Monstera deliciosa that the owners grew several years back, and it's just a massive plant. And you can see here we've got some gorgeous looking proven winter plants. I keep going back to these plants right here. The vendor is still working on it. I feel like I'm distracting her because I'm, freaking out. And you can see my my shopping cart right there as I'm filming. Don't worry. Like, I was watching my alocasias because I really did see a couple of people kind of staring at it, and I had to edit out that part of the video. But I was like, hey, those are my plants, because somebody was about to pick up this plant. Like, I can't do that. You know that this plant is a sport variegated Alocasia Cuculatta. Anyways, let me calm down. I am super excited. I did want to show you guys just some more of these plants, and let's just kind of like enjoy the scenery here. I'm just going to walk through and show you the rest of the plants that they have available at this Home Depot. And I just want to pan over one last time to show you these gorgeous looking cordyline plants, stunning. And so I'm going to pan over the rest of just the outside of this Home Depot. Really excited that I was able to go to this Home Depot out in Allen, Texas. This is right off of McDermott Road. So the next location we're going to go to is one of my favorite Kroger marketplace to go plant shopping. This is the one off of Frisco, right off of Costa Road. So if you are a local plant foldie, you can visit this one. This one actually has some really good selections of plants. Their plants are typically healthy. And right off the bat, you can see right here, we've got some peace lilies. All of these plants are starting at $24.99. And we've got some more cordyline plants here. These ones are a little bit more leggy. I prefer the ones that we just saw at Home Depot, but let me know in the comments, plant foldies, if you haven't already, about just cordyline plants. And you can see the entrance right here. We are in Frisco, Texas, and we're about to walk in here and see what plants they have. Like, what a nice setup they have. And you can see right off the bat, whenever you go to grocery store plant shopping, you will always find houseplants, indoor plants in the floral department. So they've got a lot of Phalaenopsis orchids here, several varieties, several sizes. And then check this out. We've got some Azalea Simpsonii or indoor azaleas. These ones are for $19.99. Look at how gorgeous this is. And the thing about Azalea Simpsonii, if you do not water them, they will decline in health very quickly. These are plants that are very thirsty and very finicky. So just an update on my Azalea simsii that I got on clearance at this particular Kroger. One died because it just dried out. Again, these plants, as much as I love these azaleas, I don't know if they're the best fit for me because they require a lot of water. Like, they don't want to obviously sit in water, but at the same time, you never want to let their soil dry out completely. The roots on azaleas in general are very fine and don't really take up a lot of water. So you just need to make sure that you do. Now, these smaller versions right here are $9.99. I think I might need to, if I'm going to get some more azaleas, I need to make sure that I'm getting one that is, smaller like that instead of the larger ones, because it was a little bit more tough for me to take care of them. I still have my Variegated Sport Azalea simsii. I haven't found one of those versions yet, but you can see how gorgeous these plants are, as well as the Phalaenopsis orchids. My viewers that often see my videos, I will feature flowering plants. I'm really trying to diversify my plant, the plants that I feature on my plant shopping videos, but I am partial to the azaleas. Like, I love azaleas. I have that type of relationship with azaleas. It's the same thing I have with like Hydra Helix or those Hedera Helix, English ivy. I love them, but for some reason they don't love me back because they're so finicky. They're just a little bit more challenging, and it's a lesson to learn. Like, I was all about the azaleas, but they are just a challenging plant. They need to stay hydrated, and right now, at least in my with my hectic schedule, it's a little bit more tough for me to take care of plants that just require a little bit more water. And right over here we do have a Hydra Helix. This Hedera Helix, which is the correct way to say English ivy, is for $9.99. This one's in a 4.5-inch planter. Now, all of the plants we're seeing, like this palm plant right over here, the plants that are sourced out at Kroger grocery stores typically come from Mason Farms. Now, Mason Farms, surprisingly, is a nursery out in New Mexico. So this one right here is an Alocasia Black Velvet. I've seen some really cool Alocasias. Like, one Alocasia I found at Kroger, for instance, was an Alocasia Stingray, and it was also for $19.99. This one's in a 6-inch planter. So there's a lot of cool things that I will say grocery plant shopping. You probably will get the most cost-effective pricing. Like, I am in love with Palea plants. This one is a Palea aluminum plant. This one is for $9.99 in a 4.5-inch planter. I love Palea plants because of the metallic shine they have on the leaves. They're fairly easy to take care of. They're a little bit more thirsty, but not nearly as thirsty as like a fern or even like an Azalea simsii. So you just want to make sure that you keep that particular plant hydrated. And then here we got another Hydra Helix. Now say it again with me, guys. Hydra Helix. I just like saying that. I don't know, I'm silly. But I do like English ivy. And then we have this Ficus lyrata over here for $13.99. My Ficus lyrata is doing so amazing. And guess how much I paid for it? And it was in that size. 99 cents. I happen to go to another local grocery store called Sprouts. So that's the thing. You can go to grocery stores and find some gorgeous looking plants. Like, look at this Hydra Helix. This one is a Gold Baby English Ivy for $9.99 in a 4.5-inch planter. And I will say Kroger probably has the best pricing for Epipremnum aureum, neon pothos, or pothos in general. You can get the 6-inch ones for $9.99. Typically 6-inch pothos planters are usually like $16.99, maybe $12.99, but $9.99 is not bad. I actually got clearance plants or reduced plants from Kroger, and I got it for like $2, that neon pothos. And you can see right here we've got some oxalis plants. St. Patty's Day is over, and you can see this is reduced to $3.85. Now, I did ask this during a live premiere chat the other day if we could grow shamrock or oxalis indoors, and people said yes. So I might go back to this Kroger and purchase this plant. But again, me spending that money on those Variegated Sport Alocasia kind of blew my budget. for this week is in terms of plants, but you can see here, this is a gorgeous looking purple one, purple oxalis. This is for $3.85 as well. So that's what I love about Kroger plants. A lot of times, if you are lucky, you can walk in when they reduce the cost of the plant. I really like that a lot, just because Kroger or any type of grocery store, they really make sure that their plants are top notch. They take care of their plants. I believe they pretty much treat them like fresh produce, so they have to keep them fresh, and they'll reduce them if they have some kind of cosmetic damage. But you can see all of these aluminum plants are just perfection. $9.99. It almost makes me want to pick up one again and just start another Pilea aluminum plant. This is the classic Pilea plant that I first started out with. Really interested in getting more Pilea plants. I have 3 in my collection now, and they're doing amazing. I even have the variegated version of this, much slower growing, but I'm hoping that once it takes off, I can propagate them. And they're very easy to root in water as well. You do want to pinch them back and trim them back in order to keep them bushy. Otherwise, they'll get leggy. That's the only problem I would say with Pilea plants. And you can see this is for $3.85. These green shamrock plants, these oxalis, really cool. And this one is happy too, because you can see that it's in bloom. I have to start visiting more Kroger grocery stores, because they really do have some interesting looking plants. They do reduce their plants or clearance out their plants. Like this one right here is a really nice looking one. I probably should have bought one of these plants. I mean, I wouldn't be losing a lot of money if this one died. $3.85 for a 6-inch potted up oxalis is not bad at all. And then you can see right here, they've just got tons of Pilea plants. Like, I feel like this Kroger just got recently restocked, so I'm very excited to be able to find a bunch of plants. And you can see right here, they've got a white Photonia. I love Photonias, the look of Photonias, at least the care, not so much. I haven't had the best luck in growing Photonias. I either overwater them or underwater them, and they just get really crispy. They are very particular with the amount of water they get. Like, if you don't water them, they'll start to brown up and crisp up. If you overwater them, they will brown up and crisp up. So there's not a lot of winning with Photonia plants. And here they've got some Costa trending tropical plants, but we'll take a look at that after we look at this one right here. This is a trending tropical. So I will say most trending tropicals in self-watering planters, like at Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart, are for $19 and plus cents. This one is for $16.99. So they're trending tropical plants at Kroger's are the cheapest ones or most cost-effective ones out of all of the trending tropicals. So I will be going particularly to Kroger marketplaces and trying to find more trending tropicals. And you can see here, polka dot plants. The pink ones are really nice. I do like how this one looks. And this one's for $9.99 by Mason Farms. Again, that's the plant supplier for Kroger. Let me know in the comments, plant foldies, if you've grown polka dot plants. They're gorgeous, but they're just really finicky. Same thing with those Hydra Helix. And then this one right here, we've got Peperomia Raisinette. So I ended up getting a Peperomia Red Luna, which is a trending tropicals plant from Costa Farms, but this one is the Raisinette, which is way more purple. That's really nice. I believe that one was $13.99. I might end up getting that at Kroger. I've been looking at that Peperomia, and Peperomia are pretty easy, but wow, do you see what I see? Dieffenbachia Cool Beauty. Like, today is my lucky day. I am literally finding some pretty cool variegated plants. We'll go take a look at that, but we'll look at this Croton Petra just to calm down for a second. That one's for $9.99. But I overheard that, I've read somewhere, people have told me that Costa Farms is releasing some new Dieffenbachia as trending tropicals, and this is it. Dieffenbachia Cool Beauty. Do you see that? Like, I always talk about how Dieffenbachia are challenging to grow indoors, but you know what? I'm going to make an exception, not even flinch. I told myself I wasn't going to buy any plants, but for $16.99 for a variegated Dieffenbachia, yeah, this is going home with me. There's 2 of them, so we're going to take a look at which one I might end up getting. Plant foldies, would you buy the one at the top or the one I just put down? Leave it in the comments or in the live premiere chats, but what a gorgeous looking Dieffenbachia. Now, the Dieffenbachia Cool Beauty, I've actually seen 2 to 3 years ago being offered for several hundreds of dollars, and now it is a Costa Farms trending tropical plant. That's very exciting. This particular Dieffenbachia was actually discovered in Japan. It was a mutation from a Dieffenbachia, and I just love that. With Dieffenbachia, you just need to make sure that you are providing a lot of bright and direct light. They are very susceptible to spider mites as well. And basically light and just pest prevention, you will be able to grow it. I'm going to try to grow a Dieffenbachia. And then right over here, here's another Dieffenbachia. I've seen this one time at a local plant nursery called The Great Outdoors in Austin, Texas. But this one is a large Dieffenbachia crocodile. What interesting tone. Like, I actually would have bought this as well, but I didn't want to spend $16.99 each for these plants. Like, I feel like if I had to prioritize, I would definitely get the variegated plant and maybe come back for that. See, that's the thing about, different types of genuses of plants. Like, you want to collect them all. Like, I remember buying one peperomia and then I started adding more peperomia. So I don't want to start the Dieffenbachia craze just because, there's one that I didn't really see. But plant foliage, would you agree with me? I would definitely buy that Dieffenbachia Cool Beauty. It's absolutely stunning. And in here we have a Croton Gold Dust. This one's for $6.99. This one is a Costa Farms plant in a ceramic planter. I do like the matte finish on the ceramic planter. And with crotons, I actually repotted one of my crotons, my magnificent croton, and I am growing it in full sun, hoping that I will get some really good coloration from the plant. And then here is another Hedera Helix. This Hedera Helix English Ivy is in a 6-inch planter. This one's for $19.99, and this one is also from Mason Farms. So you can see that Kroger has a bunch of cool plants, some common plants, but needless to say, they're very healthy looking. Like, what a gorgeous looking Epipremnum aureum. Enjoy, but they're calling it Pearls and Jay, but I really think it's Enjoy. You make the decision. I think this is an Enjoy and it's mislabeled, but I'm going to go ahead and label this Pearls and Jay based on the plant ID on that particular plant. And I'm just going to go back and point out some more plants. What a nice looking Schefflera over there, an umbrella plant. They've got another Ficus lyrata. A lot of these plants are starting at $9.99. Really good pricing for a lot of these plants. And you can see right over here, they've got a lot of Hedera Helix. There are a bunch of English ivy today. I don't know why there's a bunch of English ivy. And this is a really red Photonia. What a nice looking Photonia. This one's for $9.99. I do like that. And then the edges have like a black margin around it. I really don't see Photonia like that. That's another plant I would potentially add to my collection. And then this is a really cool plant. And I know for those who've seen this before, this is a pickle plant for $9.99. What a cool looking plant. And look at how fuzzy it is. They do look like miniature pickles. Plant foldies, I've seen this before. I know you guys liked it, so I'm glad I was able to find that plant. It seems to be more of an uncommon plant I don't typically see just being offered, so that's really cool. And then you can see what a gorgeous looking azalea, indoor azalea. And we've got this interesting Aglonema from Costa Farms in a self-watering planter. This one's for $14.99. This is another variety of Aglonema that I don't have, so I'm definitely gonna have to come back to this Kroger and purchase it. They've got 2 of them. They might even reduce this one because this one has some damage on its leaves, and I don't mind it. I'll just chop up the damaged leaves, but we'll see if Kroger will actually reduce that. This is another Aglonema I would purchase just because it's definitely a newer version. I'm glad that Costa Farms is releasing Aglonemas. If you haven't gotten an Aglonema in your houseplant collection and you have been watching my videos, I would ask why, because Aglonemas are amazing. They're super easy to take care of. And you can see here, we've got a lot of flowering plants, lots of Phalaenopsis orchids, lots of gorgeous Azalea Simpsonii. So I did learn my lesson in terms of making sure you never, ever, ever let the flowers, or not the flowers, but the soil dry. Otherwise, the azalea will really decline in health. I'm thinking that I probably needed to repot these plants in a bigger, pot with some more soil, not fast draining, just because, me being an underwaterer, it just didn't work out for me. I was really disappointed that I lost one of my indoor azaleas. I still have 2 left. My variegated one is actually growing outdoors in the patio. and I'm hoping that it will bounce back once I've been a little bit more consistent with the watering. But I did want to walk over here. Kroger is always such a good place to find plants. I think that this is really cool. We definitely need to know what this Aglaonema plant ID is. $14.99 is not bad, but you know, for the most part, it just reminds me that I need to go to grocery stores again and check out some of these plants. I consider grocery stores big box stores as well. And you can see there are plenty of plants available. It may not seem like much, but a lot of the plants are plants that I would add to my collection. So plant foldies, if you haven't already, please hit the like button for this video and leave comments at the end. I am going to be ending this video fairly soon. This is Richie at Grow Folds. Please subscribe, and I definitely hope you guys will catch me tomorrow. I have another live premiere chat video available, and I'll see you next time. Bye.